Welcome to the sit down presented by Visa. Today, our special guest is President League1 Canada, Dino Rossi. How you doing, Dino?
I'm great, Andy. How are you?
I'm fantastic, and I'm sure everyone is doing great in the world of soccer here in Canada after the news of Olivia Smith, and in particular, League1. I'm sure having a lot of pride here because she is a League1 alum and becomes the most expensive female player ever with that $1 million over to Arsenal. How does it feel to see that come to fruition?
Well, first and foremost, as a fan of Canadian soccer, it's huge, right? This further cements that the pathways that are being paved for our female players to have ambition beyond maybe playing just university college soccer. Those pathways are much more clear now. Olivia is someone that anybody who loves League One would have seen playing just a few years back, and not only playing but dominating. She was our Young Player of the Year for North Toronto. She was our Golden Boot winner. I think she had like 18 goals in just 11 games that season. Um, she is a amazing testament to what our system can develop, and that we have a path for talented players to work their way up and advance to the highest levels possible of the game. I'm not sure I could have predicted when in 2022, when she was doing all these great things over at Downsview Park for North Toronto, that we would see her wearing the Arsenal strip in the fall of 2025. But here you go. You know, she has always been a dynamo and always been a player that people in the Ontario region for sure knew was very special. Now the world gets to see it.
It is. When you look at her trajectory as well, it's pretty special. As you mentioned, North Toronto Nitros, I mean, those 18 goals in 11 games, and then being able to play in Portugal and then making her way to Liverpool and even playing in Liverpool, shortlisted for all these awards in the WSL for Player of the Year, Young Player of the Year. And I know internally with Liverpool, she actually won those team awards, and now here she is setting that record. What memories do you have of Olivia? I don't know if it was a game that she played in League One, or maybe it was just you kind of thought to yourself, this player's got it, right? Even from, because even when you talk to her, right, there's also just a level of understanding too, where it doesn't surprise you that here she is only 20 and being able to handle a lot of the spotlight.
Well, there was one game that stood out. I live here in Mississauga, and they were playing away at North Mississauga, which their home field is minutes from my house. So I definitely made a point to get out to that game. And in the first 20 minutes, she was just an unstoppable force. Scored two amazing goals, two different ways, and put the team up quickly. And you watch that and you look over to her coach, and there's that nod, right? And her coach now, her coach at the time is the sporting director at AFC Toronto, Billy Wilson, and there's just that nod that you know, this is a special player. But I mean, I'd seen her a little bit when she was younger, playing. I'd heard all kinds of stories about the things that she was doing in youth soccer. Her just passion, her obsession for the game, sort of was a story that was fodder for the local grassroots fans. And so when I heard that she was signed with North Toronto for that season, I was really excited. I made sure to come out to see a few of her games, and every time she played for North Toronto, she stood out. And not only is she an individually excellent player, but she also makes her teammates better. Gives them a little bit more confidence, gives them definitely a lot more space, right? Because she's always being marked by two. Otherwise, you just can't. Mm-hmm. You can't play her. You can't give her space because of her ability to shoot from anywhere. She has that confidence to do the most dramatic things out of nothing. We're lucky to have her as that next generational star for Canada.
Well, let's talk about League One in general, because what role do you think that league is actually serving for women's players who have aspirations of going pro?
Well, I think League One, the importance of it is to be that critical bridge between youth soccer and the professional game. And now that for women, the professional game is a real thing, right? For a long time, it felt very unattainable. There were some professional leagues in Europe, but tough, right?
Hmm.
Now the pro game for women has exploded. There's so many opportunities. Every year, I see the list that our registrar puts together of ITCs, the international transfers that we see from League One, and you see the countries that they're going to, and it's wow, like Turkey. We just saw one go to Albania yesterday. I mean, the fact that people are the female players see an opportunity for them to pursue their dreams, and that League One is a great platform for them to get high level competition against the best players in Ontario, which is the heartland of soccer in this country, and and so many of them, they go on and they actually have success when they go abroad. They if they're stars at our level, they have the makeup to do very well at the next level.
Well, why don't we keep it closer to home? Because even, players making the jump from League One to the Northern Super League, I believe it was like over 30% of players who started in the NSL, and obviously it keeps growing as their inaugural season progresses, but right out of the gate, there's over 30% of players from League One who made the jump to NSL. How about that as well? Just being able to make that move. And also for a lot of players who just want to stay home, but knowing that that is what has been a massive pipeline for the NSL so far.
We're not surprised that L1 alum, whether it be Ontario, BC, Alberta, Quebec, were going to be important uh, foundational pieces for the NSL in its debut season. We've been operating for many years, and many great players have come through our system. Some made the jump playing in League One last year, like a Kaylee Hunter, like a Jade Kovacevic. You name it. There's a number. And then there are some who graduated from our league a while ago and have been playing professional, but we still claim them. They're
Sure.
still our alumni, and we're not surprised. Just like when the CPL kicked off in 2019, 25+% of the players who started in that league were alumni of our leagues. We're really excited that not only are there so many players, but they're doing so well, so many of them, and that the quality of the play in the league is so good. So it goes to show you that when you put our best together, that they put on a very entertaining product. And what is really interesting is to see the vibe around the leagues, that players who are eyeing an opportunity to the NSL in for next year and into the future, they really see the importance of being a star at our level, as a great piece for their resume to catch the eye
Mhm.
of the coaches at the NSL level. Hopefully, in the off season, many of them will be getting contract offers as teams rebuild and fortify themselves for 2026.
Well, the last few years, we've also seen League One grow. So you have League One Alberta, British Columbia, Ontario, and Quebec. What are the ambitions in terms of where you'd like to see some divisions next in the country?
Well, our goal, our ambition is to have leagues that operate in all 10 provinces, right? We want to be coast to coast, but we also recognize that doesn't happen overnight. The size of the 4 provinces that we do operate in already is significantly larger, both population and soccer community wise, than our other 6 provinces, but we do want to bring them into the fold. And because there's players everywhere and they all deserve an opportunity. We do see players, very talented players from the prairies and from Atlantic Canada, find their way into League One, Ontario, Quebec, BC, and Alberta squads, which is great. But we'd love, our dream was always to have talented players be able to play at home or close to home in front of friends and family, because that's when it matters to those people, right? It's that community connection. We think
Mhm.
it's very important, and to build the football industry in Canada is to have leagues like ours across this country. It creates that groundswell. But in the shorter term, we want to see our leagues that we already have continue to grow wisely,
Mhm.
intelligently, manage that growth. But I expect we'll probably add a few teams in all of them over this off season, and we'll have some exciting new stories for the 2026 season.
We look forward to that. We're already seeing, though, the fruits of your labor between, yes, players and making the jump as well to being professionals, especially here at home. And of course, the last few years in the interprovincial tournament that was also established for League One has been very exciting to watch. We appreciate you taking the time, and best of luck with everything that you're doing right now in the semi-pro game for Canadian soccer players.
Thanks, Andy. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me.
That's Dino Rossi here on The Sit Down, presented by Visa.